Good evening here from Mumbai, India, and a very, very warm welcome to all of you for today's Leadership Satsang session. I'm your leadership coach, Yukti Kapoor, Mehndi, Ratta. Very, very happy to come back after a short break. And trust me, sometimes we need the break a lot more than we realize. And that's what I realized when I took one and I came back so rejuvenated, maybe a little tanned, but definitely rejuvenated from that time I spent with myself and family. And thank you for holding that space for me. And now that we are back, let's dive into the space that we want to create for us, for ourselves, the space where it's not just about trying to look good, the space where we feel fulfilled and feel good, genuinely, authentically, every single minute of every single day. And that happens when we keep spirituality in the middle of leadership. When we understand the reality of ourself, of our spirit, the leader who is trying to lead cannot do that at a transactional level. It needs to be done at a much, much, much deeper level. And only then can we add some meaning to someone's life. Only then can we make a meaningful contribution. And the fact that you connect with me for every satsang session week after week tells me that you have that intention as a leader, the intention to add value, to make a difference. And I call these people like you and me, mad people. We're mad, okay? We want to make a difference. So I love being mad and I love mad people because it's not everyone who thinks about doing such things. Trust me. While somewhere we all want to, kind of feel that special and get that attention from people that you are important and you added value to my life, not many people consciously work in that direction. And it does not happen without conscious work. It does not happen as a by the way that we made a difference in this world. It is a very conscious effort. It's a planned effort. And a big part of that plan is to go deeper within yourself, to understand and identify the gaps that exist within us, between us in our relationships, as much as it exists within us as a human, as a leader. And the more you see that, the more willing you are to see that, the easier it will get for you to bridge those gaps. Because ignorance is not always a bliss. If you're not even aware of your actions, then there is no way to improve it, right? To improve anything, we have to accept first. And how will you accept if you don't take the time out to be more aware of who you are? So please don't be scared or react to this question that will probably come in front of you. And if you're in my proximity, it'll come in front of you in a lot more. And the question is, who am I? Who am I? Who is the real me? Who is the real me? Will the real Slim Shady please stand up? Like really, we don't know ourselves as well as we think we do because we are so outward. We're so outward. We want to just go around learning everything about everybody else except for us. So these satsang sessions are designed and curated to help you go with it. And I'm sure you're getting that experience if you are following these sessions every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. And now that we're back to the rhythm, let us take the next step forward and deeper into our understanding of leadership as well as spirituality. But before we do that, we will bring ourselves to this moment completely as we always do. And our way of doing that is to chant. So we are going to chant Om together. And for that, you need to make sure that you are relaxed wherever you are. Keep your spine straight, relax your shoulders. Please know Om has no religious connotation to it. It is the most powerful universal chant that helps you to create the internal vibrations that can be used to align your 7 chakras. I hope you know there are 7 chakras inside our body. We are a mass of energy. And this energy revolves around the 7 chakras in this physical body. Right? And those chakras, when they're off and they're not in one line, we face all sorts of situations and all sorts of emotions. And the moment you align them together, there is more centering, there is more grounding, there is more clarity. And with that, you experience a lot more peace, even in chaos. Imagine the access you and I have. If we lose peace, we can bring it back like this, only if we know how to. And only if we are willing to act upon what we know. Because as I keep saying every time, we know a lot, we don't do as much. So I'm sharing with you how to get that peace back. It's about sitting in some place and relaxing your body and chanting Om till you completely forget yourself, till you are immersed in those vibrations. But in the interest of time, we can only do it 5 times in satsang sessions. I would strongly encourage you to extend this time and do this for maybe 10 minutes every day, if not longer. All right, so on that note, let's prepare ourselves. Keep your spine straight, relax your shoulders, close your eyes, and take a nice deep breath in. A lot has happened in the day today. A lot might still happen in the hours to go. But right now, you're here in this moment. Let's feel this moment. Let's be in this moment completely. Take a nice, beautiful breath in and breathe out. And once again, take another breath in. As you prepare yourself to chant Om, I will keep the count for you. And I would strongly encourage you to chant it out loud if you can in your space. If your environment allows, please chant it out loud so that you can create those vibrations in your vocal cord. Right? So we will inhale, and as you exhale, you will chant Om. Let's prepare ourselves. Take a deep breath in. Om. 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 Shanti. 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 Please rub your palms together. You can feel the warmth between your hands, and then gently place them on your eyes and face, ears, and neck, and your entire body, and slowly come back. How are you feeling? How are we feeling right now? Where are we? What are you experiencing? Let's have that in the comments, please. I am going to keep my phone handy as well so that I can dodge the lag and see your live comments. So please share in the comments, how are you feeling right now? And where are you joining me from? Which part of the world are you in today? I'm back in Mumbai. Where are you right now? Yeah, I would love to know. So please bring it on and share in the chat. How are you feeling in this moment? Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So now that we are completely here in this moment, let us learn a few things which could probably a reminder for you. But even if that's the purpose it solves, it's a very, very, very important reminder. And that is to remember that we as leaders have multiple roles to play at all times. I've always said this, that the quality we should have within us as leaders is that of water. Right? We should be able to take the shape of the vessel that we are poured into, but we still maintain the properties of water. We don't change ourselves, we adapt. There is a huge difference, right? Changing, if it's understood as improvement, is most welcome, and it's always a possibility to be able to improve yourself, right? But when you are playing the role of a leader, it's not necessarily the obligation of improving. It's more important to learn how to adapt, because every person you lead might not be your favorite. You don't get to choose your team as much as you don't get to choose your line managers. You might choose the organization you're serving basis the money they give you, or the position or title they give you, or whatever other criteria that you have when you sign up with an organization. But what have you signed up for is known only when you're on the other side, when you actually start the work, right? And that's when you know what you have signed up for, which means that is a time when you can't really go back, and you shouldn't. In fact, that's the time when you put your character to test. You put your learning to test. You put the entire preparation that you have gone through to become an effective leader. That's what's coming into practice now. When you bring in the need and the ability to play different roles in different situations. So we've talked about this earlier, but I'm going to elaborate upon it a little more, especially focusing on two of those four roles that we need to play. And every single day, we put all these four hats in our bag. You know what these four roles are? If you've been attending satsang sessions, I'm sure you know what these four roles are. So give it to me in the comments, please. What are these four roles that you think we need to play? And we need to carry these hats with us every single day when we go to work. Whether you're a business owner or you're a corporate executive, you have no choice but to take these four hats with you and play this role every single time. What are these roles? And as you share that with me in the comments, I'm going to share my screen to take you through the four roles that we need to play as comfortably as possible, even though some of these roles will come handy to you, will be more comfortable for you, and some would require a little conscious effort, right? The four roles are that of a manager who tells people what is the problem, that of a counselor, right, who asks people what is the problem, and then the other two roles, which we will discuss a little more, are the roles of a coach and a mentor. A mentor who tells people the solution, and a coach who asks people for the solution. Now, these two roles are actually also professions. And that is why sometimes it can get very confusing. When we see the word coach, we relate it to sports, isn't it? Sports coaching. Now, in sports coaching, the coach is actually not coaching. The coach is a mentor. Most of the times, you will see the coach as an experienced player himself or herself. So, what are they doing? They are teaching people how to play the sport better. Is that coaching? No, that's actually mentoring. But we give a title of a coach to this person. And that's why it's important that we understand the difference between the two, to know which role to play at what time. But before you understand the timing of it, you have to first understand the meaning of the role. It's very, very important. And so I thought it's a very important topic to bring out to you all. And of course, it also stems from a question somebody asked me: will I be more effective as a leader if I am a coach to my team or if I'm a mentor to my team? And that's what encouraged me to bring this up as another episode on the importance of roles that we have to play as a leader. There will be times when we have to focus on tasks and be more transactional. Tell people, here is the problem, and go and fix it. It's okay to be a manager. It's important to be a counselor sometimes. But you will realize that most of the times in our professional experience, we need to choose one of these two, the coach and the mentor. So let's understand the difference between the two roles. Knowing that they both are important, And we need to be equally comfortable in playing both the roles. So before I share with you the approach that a coach should have, why don't we understand when coaching is needed and when it is not? Let's look at that first, right? So when do I need to coach people? Any thoughts on that? Please put it in the comments. When do you think I need to coach people? When I'm coaching people, what am I doing? I'm providing support. I'm holding the space. I am creating accountability. That's what coaching can do. If you, as a leader, know how to use coaching, you can create accountability. Coaching is a great way to give feedback and to create self-reflection, self-feedback, create a space for that, self-assessment as we call it. Coaching will bring you results in the long term. It does not happen like right away. It's a gradual, deep process, right? And it is also very personal. You cannot coach people, in the same way. The questions that you ask as a coach comes from what the coachee is sharing with you. So as a professional coach, I can never go prepared for any session. I can go with my toolkit, but I don't know which tool will I be pulling out. That doesn't depend on me. That depends on the coachee. It depends on what the person is sharing. And that is what will help me be with the flow and understand the right question to ask. So what's happening in coaching? We're not telling, we're asking. That's what we're doing. We're asking. In mentoring, there is more of telling. In mentoring, there is that special bond you have between a mentor-mentee. A mentor is pretty much like a teacher, and a mentee is a student to that teacher. Thankfully, today, we are not limiting ourselves with age as a criteria to choose a mentor. Your mentor could be half your age. That doesn't matter. If you can look up to somebody and say, you know what, there is something to learn from this person, that's your mentor right there. I'm very happy to see how humble so many of us are, who have the humility to choose a mentor who could be younger, but has the ability to understand things at an expert level. One thing that a mentor needs to bring to the table is expertise, if not experience. Most of the times, mentor will have both experience as well as expertise. A coach, on the other hand, doesn't need to have either the experience or the expertise of your domain. They need to know how to coach. Coaching itself is a skill that every leader needs to learn. Mentoring is using your knowledge and transferring that knowledge or sharing that knowledge with people, right? And helping them to develop their skills. So that is the difference between coaching and mentoring. Are we crystal clear? Give me CC in the comments, please, if you are crystal clear about what these roles mean. And then I'll elaborate on it a little more. Be clear about it? Just give me a moment. I'm curious to see what comments are coming in, and I can't on my screen right now. So a quick check. All right, so I'm still just having a quick look at your comments, and I think there's a bit of a lag. Okay. All right. Here I see it on my phone, and thank you so much. All right. So with that said, let us now go deeper into understanding the role of a coach and the role of a mentor. What is the difference, and when do we need to bring in which hat? So what is the difference in the approach of a coach and a mentor? Approach is for a coach to ask for your solutions. The key word here is your solutions. So coach is not giving you their solutions. They're asking you questions that can lead you to find your own solutions, as against a mentor who tells you the solution from their experience or expertise or both. Right? So they tell you, you know what, if you get stuck in this situation, you troubleshoot it in this manner. If you get stuck in this problem, this is how you deal with the problem. right? They have done with it, been there, done that. So they leverage on that, and that's how they share. Right? Now, in terms of credentials, a coach or a leader who wants to be a coach should be encouraged to learn coaching as a skill. ICF is an association which is the most reputed. It's called as the International Coaching Federation, and there are many schools affiliated with ICF. You can learn coaching as a skill from any one of these schools. They're everywhere in India, everywhere in the world, and that can be an additional qualification that you may want to sign up for. But the credentials for a mentor is nothing more than your own experience of a similar industry. If you have worked in textile for the longest part of your life, you can be a mentor to those who are new to that industry. Or if you are a tech expert and that part of the tech or that piece is known to you really well, you can be a mentor for that part, right? For many other things, you might not be a mentor. You might, in fact, be a mentee and have another mentor who teaches you how to get better there. So it's about knowing what you know and sharing that, right? So that's the credential you require to be a mentor. You need to be somebody who's been there, done that. Now, what is the objective of a coach? The role of a coach, the objective to play this role is to teach you how to help yourself, as against a mentor who will help you. Mentor will come and help you, will fix your problem because they faced this problem earlier. In a coaching role, when you play a coaching role with your team, you teach them how to help themselves. That's the objective of choosing to play the role of a coach. So what is the method for coaching? Facilitate deeper exploration using techniques. That's what you do as a coach. You use many techniques that can be learned, many tools that are available for you to ask the right questions. It's a part of questions. You ask the right question, you get the right answer. You ask a specific question, you get a terrific answer. And this answer is nothing but exploration. What are we doing? We're exploring. There are no right or wrong answers. We're just kind of exploring. And in that exploration, the coachee will find their own clarity, their own solution. That is the approach, the method in coaching. But when we are mentoring, it's a monologue, a bit of a monologue. We're sharing the knowledge that we have, the experience that we have, or we could be answering questions that people might have. And that's another thing that we could be doing. But even then, it's pretty much you doing most of the talking. In coaching, you do a lot of listening. In mentoring, as a role, when you are a mentor, you're doing a lot of talking. So it's 70% talking, 30% listening. In coaching, it's the opposite. 70% of the times you're listening, 30% of the times you talk. When you're asking the right questions, that can take the coachee or your team member deeper to understand the situation and then come up with their own solution to deal with it. So when do you choose to be a coach? And when should you choose to be a mentor? That's important. That is where lies your ability to master leadership, to use it in a way that can be useful for somebody else. That's called mastering leadership. So this difference needs to be understood very well. When to bring in the role of a coach and when to act like a mentor. So you choose to be a coach when you are facing a specific challenge, when your team is facing a specific challenge. That's when you come in and you try to coach them. In mentoring, you're facing a generic challenge. What does that mean? If there is a situation where an individual from your team is feeling lost suddenly, right? Suddenly there is lack of motivation, lack of focus. The person is feeling disoriented. It's a very specific personal issue that person is dealing with. So what do? We create the lineup of questions as the person shares and play the role of a coach to go deeper and understand and identify the real problem. And then help them to understand and identify the solution for it. Because it is their situation, it's not yours. There is no one way to fix it. It has to be only their way to fix it. The mentor's role comes in when the situation or the challenge is more generic. For example, how to make this process more efficient. Now you have dealt with the process and the process is pretty much the same. So it's not a specific problem specific to an individual. When I say specific here, what I mean is specific to a person. It's not specific to a person. It is a part of a process that needs to be understood better, right? Like, how can I have better conversions? Now, there is an entire process that goes behind creating that funneling which is needed for a customer to have enough trust in you, and then they get converted into becoming your loyal customer. Right? That's conversion into business, conversion into profits, conversion through sales. So is there a process behind that? Absolutely, yes. So what can help me here? Being a mentor to my team and telling them how I have been able to sell well, how I have been able to get high conversions in the past in my experience. If I've done something well, I can teach you how to do it. Right? So this is a way for you to understand when to be a coach and when to be a mentor. The most important thing is to be comfortable with both the roles. You might feel that being a mentor comes naturally to you. And that's when you have to focus more on being a coach. And you might think the other way as well, that I can be a coach very easily. Most of the times I ask people for their solution. And that's when you need to practice being a mentor a lot more. The idea is that you have to be comfortable with both the roles, and not just these two, but all four. Being a manager and a counselor as well. Which hat to wear is not your favorite pick. It is basis the situation and the individual that you have to lead. That's when you will be adapting into a situation the way water takes shape of a vessel, right? And not choose your way and your shape and your method of doing things. So this comes from awareness. Awareness of my approach towards a situation. Do I jump in to fix it? Or do I have it in me to take a step back and hold the space and have the patience for the team to do what they need to do, for this individual to think the way they need to think and fix it on their own? Helping someone to help themselves is what makes them more powerful, is what empowers people in the real sense of the word. I know that I have served to someone as a coach, as a good coach, if that person is able to make independent decisions today and doesn't have to keep running back to me to fix his life. I don't want to do that. I don't want to fix your life. I want you to learn how to fix it on your own. And there is a learning there. So before I get to that point, as a leader, I need to see what is it for me to learn. Which of the four roles is my strength? And which one requires some conscious learning and work? And if it does, that's what I need to focus on today so that I can be a more effective and efficient leader tomorrow. And on that note, we conclude today's session because that's all the time we have. I would love to know from you if this was useful. What is it that you're taking away? Please put it in the comments, whether you're watching it on YouTube or on LinkedIn. I would love to have some comments on what are you taking away? What did you find useful? And if there are any questions stemming out of what I just shared, please put it out as well. If you have a perspective on this topic or an experience that could be useful for others, please put it out in the comments. That's when we learn from each other. That's why I believe that leadership is a circle where no one person has it all to share. It's everybody who comes together. And when everybody is willing to share whatever little they know is when we make a lot happen together, right? So with that, we conclude today's satsang session. Thank you so much for being a part of it and for all the encouragement that you keep sending my way. And that's what keeps motivating me to come in week after week after week. And I will see you next week with another important insight in the space of leadership and spirituality. Till then, take very, very good care of yourself. Thank you once again. God bless you all.